like to welcome you to San Francisco Live. I have a very exciting show for you today. I have a wonderful interview with one of your favorite stars. Welcome to San Francisco Live. We have a wonderful show for you tonight. I have some really interesting guests on this show tonight. In fact, I have some guests from all the way from Sacramento. Before we go into that, I'd like to tell you about something really exciting that's going to happen here in October. It's the African American Women's Conference on tour. You have to come out to the African American Women's Conference. It's going to be so many great things that we're going to discuss concerning African American women. And men are going to be there too, so it's going to be really great. So we'd like to invite everyone to please come out. That's October the 21st through the 24th. It's going to be really, really great. We have a wonderful guest on the show tonight that came up all the way from Sacramento. In fact, I went to an art show, and I was just really overwhelmed at her work. I mean, she is so artistic. Her work is just so fabulous, and you'll see for yourself in a few moments. Her name is Kanika, and she has some beautiful artwork she brought to us tonight. How are you, Kanika?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
Oh, you know, your artwork is just really unique. It's really, really great. When I saw your work, I was just really shocked because I couldn't imagine how you designed these dolls so precisely. I mean, your work is just so precisely. Tell me a little about yourself.
Okay, well, I started in sculpture in about 1980, and I took some classes at the University of Sacramento, and I just got really charged up. I was supposed to be doing pottery, but I found myself doing sculpture instead. And I've always been interested in African art and African American art from the 70s on up, and so I just did a lot of experimentation with African masks, and then I got into the figurines. And I thought it was really important to show as much of African art as we possibly can in our homes, and so I wanted to do a mixture of sculpture and fabrics and jewelry, just to try to bring some of Africa into my home.
So just the original culture of our people. You know what's so unique about your work? You started doing sculptures. You didn't do any artwork or painting or anything like that.
I did used to do pen and ink work when I was a teenager, and I would do posters for Black History Week for the junior high schools and things like that. So yes, I did do some, but not too much.
So how did you get off into doing masks?
Well, again, I was supposed to be doing pottery, making little cups and bowls and whatnot, and I decided, well, I'd rather do something that's a little more pertinent to my culture. And so I started experimenting.
Were you inspired by someone else?
And well, I was inspired by a lot of the books that I read. I've done a lot of research over the years, and so some of those pictures that I had in my mind, and then I just let it come out through my fingers and onto a mask form.
Well, your work is just so different. Let's look at some of the work we have here in the studio tonight. Now, could you tell us about some of the different pieces you have here?
Sure. Most of the items are the figurines, and as you see, they're draped in clothing and fabric that is imported from West Africa. I've got a person down in Los Angeles who imports directly from West Africa, and they're in various stages of dress. I have some men, some female shapes, based on the different tribes that I've researched. You see some differences in the jewelry, the earrings, the headgear. Some have the large turbans that I know many of you have seen. So each one is different.
And what are the different countries? Can you tell the audience a little about the different countries?
Sure. Well, say the mask that's on the right, that influence is from the Yoruba tribe. And the actual face you may see in a lot of different statues and whatnot from Nigeria. And so that's where that influence is from. Some of the other countries would be more from West Africa. Generally the long draping garb is from East Africa, the nomads and whatnot. So just different influences I put together and try to make a piece that is totally unique in and of itself.
Now, tell me a little about how do you market these different type of figurines? Do you put them on the market for sale, or do you sell them individually at different art shows? So how does that work?
Okay, well, we have in Sacramento, we're starting with an African American cultural trade show, and that's held every first Sunday, well, the first Sunday of every month. And so what we're doing is trying to get a lot of black artists to come out and market products for everyone, but especially to the black community. And those are always at Bell Coolidge Community community center. So that's one avenue, and again, it's usually the first Sunday of every month. In September, it'll be September 12th because of Labor Day weekend. Also, I have the figurines on display at Carol's Bookstore, which is in South Sacramento. I have some at the Hilton Hotel in San Francisco.
What type of response do you get when people see your work? Was it like myself? I was like, oh, wow, I was in awe.
Well, thankfully, thankfully the response is pretty good, and I think that the African American community in general is just becoming a lot more aware of the culture and wanting to have things in their home that represent their cultural background.
You know, a lot of people out there might say, you know, African American, you know, well, why can't just everybody buy this art? But, you know, I've gone into a lot of different nationalities' homes, and that's all you see is African art. And I go into a lot of African American homes. I never see any black art. So I think it's really important that we get into our culture and then show more black art and buy and purchase more black art for our families and our children so they can relate to our culture. So I think that's really good. And what are your plans now with your work? Are you going to have it put in different places around the country?
Well, I sure hope so. I'm starting small. That's one reason I'm so delighted to be here. I would like to show more in more places in the Bay Area.
It would be nice to go into the school system and show this, you know, different art shows.
Sure. Actually, a principal in Sacramento has asked for me to come in and teach all of the classes, well, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders how to make a mask. And so that'll be great because it's clay work and sculpture is real important for relaxing, relieving stress, your creativity, very old art.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
That would be wonderful. Well, it's really nice having you here in the Bay Area. Like I said, I thought your work was just overwhelming when I first saw it, and I still think it's just beautiful. I think more of the children should be able to relate to this type of art. So it'd be wonderful to get it here in the Bay Area in the schools, and maybe have some art shows for the different, you know, like DeFermi Park and the different recreational places here in the Bay Area.
Right. Well, as I learn more about the Bay Area and what is available and whatnot, then I'll certainly be here more often.
And what is good that you also teach the culture on these different pieces and tell the kids how they originate and all that.
Right.
So you're actually teaching along with showing your artwork.
Right, right. And my oldest son is starting also in this avenue and is doing some clay work himself for his school and his craft fairs and whatnot. And so we go over the history, and it does become a full lesson. So.
Do you have anyone else in your family that's into art?
My mother is an artist. I also have a cousin who is actually from the Bay Area and is fairly well known here. And my sister designed my outfit here, and so the whole family.
Right.
Right. So
tell us about the necklace you have on.
Actually, I do jewelry also. I have a lot of these. I call them mini masks because you can obviously wear them around your neck. I do also earrings, various pins. And generally they're just very, very bold. Usually there is something that would be reminiscent of the African culture in the jewelry. And I think it's just important. You may work in a conservative area where you don't feel comfortable in wearing the full African garb, but you can always supplement it. You can always have a touch here and there, like a pin or something small, just to let people know that you're proud of where you come from. So
that's wonderful.
I do have a collection of jewelry also.
Oh, that's wonderful. So maybe next time you can bring more jewelry and we'll show that here in the Bay Area. Well, I'd like to thank you for being here on San Francisco Live.
Oh, thank you.
And showing us all of your artwork. And if there are people in the audience who'd like to maybe purchase your artwork, they can contact you, and they can call us here at the station of the show. We'll let you know how to reach.
Oh, okay. I do have an 800 number.
Well,
okay, but wait.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get that information out to the audience.
Sure.
Are you going to come to this? It's going to be really exciting.
I would love to. I would love to. I think that looks great. Very, very interesting. Of course, your speakers are wonderful speakers.
Oh, yes, definitely.